you doing, but they can
Hmm.
also see it for free on YouTube if they just be on YouTube, but they got to see it first on fan base.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Let me see.
See, that's why I say get your pen. That's why I say get your pen and paper when you come in. So it's different ways to look at it. I mean, I do respect highly what you said because that is how you saw it and see it. But what if you looked at it just a different way
Oh, I can.
of advertisement? You did. So after fan base plus, what would be the next area that you fell in love with? You're on mute. Go ahead.
Okay, hold on just a minute. Let me see. Clicks, fan base plus. I like the I like the camps. That's my next favorite feature because that's how I realized how many people were on this app. I was like, it's a lot of people on here. I like the camps because that's when you get to kind of interact with people. And there's some interesting camps on here. I don't think people realize like how many learning communities are on this app. I think people just think that it's just like Instagram or something, but it's much easier to access the camps on this app than it is to access groups um, on other apps like Facebook and stuff like that.
I think that's pretty cool. But the camps do show you a lot of active and inactive users. So just to be honest with you and open, um, which how did you find out about Fanbase and which app did you come from that you were using originally?
So I was one of the original Facebook users. I went on there because you couldn't get on Facebook unless you had a college address. So I was like one of the first people on that in like 2006, 2007. And I had brought everybody over to Facebook when it started changing. Um, but I left those apps because it's a lot of toxic, racist people on those apps. So I left those. I left Facebook. I have pages on Instagram. I rarely go on there. I had a huge following on X.
Did you stop or did your microphone turn off? I'm still listening. He was following on X.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Sorry about that. It started like buffering for some reason. So yeah, I after the Nazis took over X, I went ahead and deleted my account. So I've been over on Blue Sky. I don't know if y'all know what Blue Sky is, but Blue Sky is the app that's built like on the AT protocol. So basically, if you have an account on Blue Sky, that's the primary, you automatically end up with an account on Skylight and Pink Sky. So I have like 26,000 followers across all three of those platforms. So I go on there occasionally, but I really like fan base. So I come over here. So I ended up investing in fan base. I saw it. I was doing my content on YouTube because I was trying to figure out whether I wanted to keep my YouTube. Um, I was so mad when they canceled the Google community. I don't know if y'all remember the Google Plus community. Oh my God, I had like 50,000 followers in there and they just canceled it one day. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to start looking for some other apps and figuring some things out. So I typed in like what other apps are out there. And then I saw the ad for investing in Fanbase. And I was like, what is Fanbase? So I started reading up on it and I was like, oh my God, there's black apps out here. So I started just like researching all the black apps. And I was like, let me go over here to start investing. And I went ahead and invested. And then I set up an account. And I just started coming over here on here. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just figuring it out as I went along. I was like testing stuff out, like, okay, let me see if I can upload a video. Oh Lord, that's private. I gotta go back and delete that. I mean, I was doing wild stuff, but I was trying to just figure it out, you know? Um, and I ended up, I think, stumbling into the audio rooms one day because I was reviewing all the apps. Like I was reviewing like We Can Folk, I was reviewing Spill. No, I didn't review Spill yet. I reviewed what was it? It was Blue Sky, Spoutable, Blue Sky, and Fanbase. Those are the ones I reviewed. I didn't review Blam Fam yet, but I was going through and like reviewing all the black apps and just kind of seeing what they had to offer. And I didn't review Blacklisted either, but just to kind of see what they had to offer. And so I ended up coming in here like more and more after I built it up. I deleted my pages on Facebook and Twitter. So a lot of the people who followed me on those platforms, they followed me onto other apps. So that's how I ended up kind of being here and building up over a short amount of time. So that's a long excuse me, that's a long explanation, but that's what happened.
Oh no, I like that. That's the reason why I asked the question because I wanted to know exactly how did you end up here, and you just really just told us. But with everything that you said, I want to know: do you get paid over on Blue Sky and Skylight and all that stuff?
No, which is why I don't post over there. So what I use that account for, I've actually, it's a lot of black educators on that app. So I've been telling them for the last 6 months to come over to Fanbase and Spoutable and all the other black apps, but mainly Fanbase. And a lot of them do have accounts. They just are trying to figure it out. But no, you don't get paid on there. That's why I stopped posting because not only do you not get paid on there, people steal your content. So I only go on there and post on occasion, and that's just basically just to get views on my YouTube channel. And then I post up stuff from the Black Tube, which is basically the Black YouTube. I started moving some of my content over there because you can get paid over there with lit coins. Um, and I started posting more and more like content on the pages where I can get a check from. So, that's really fan based. I mean, you can really monetize the site if you really have more time. I mean, if this was something I did full time, I would have been able to monetize a lot more by now. But I just come on here on occasion. So whenever I have some free time, sometime when I don't even have free time, I come in here. And when I'm in here, I post some stuff on there.
Like that again, but I heard you.
But
Your free
yeah,
time. Yeah,
that's
there
why I
you
like
go.
the audio rooms because I need noise in the background when I'm grading papers.
Oh, and you a teacher too? What's up, bud?
Love those. What's going on, man? It's been a long time, man. I asked about you maybe like a few weeks ago. Like, what happened to Love Those? What's going on? You good, man? Welcome back.
Yeah, yeah. Life been lifing, but I'm getting things under
Yeah,
control.
I get that. Yep.
But I appreciate that,
That's
bro. I really do. I miss you too, bro. For real.
what's up, Joyce. Tiffany. What's going on?
What's up, Bug Log? We just doing an interview, pretty much onboarding. We don't see many new people coming in here. Um, but Tiffany, she's been gracious enough to share some new user experiences. So Tiffany, I actually stream and I wanted to stream a little bit about just like your experience as a new user. Nothing too drastic. I only wanted a few, like Buglock and I did one about investors. And I see that you're an investor. So I always love to hear about investors. It kind of accents kind of what we do in onboarding and just investors in that type of lane. What I wanted to ask you is, do you see a really good opportunity on Fanbase? I know you mentioned that you were excited and you came on here looking, you really seem like you did your homework finding this app that you were looking for. So now that you found it and as an investor point of view, Do you see a great potential for fan base as far as an investor goes?
Yeah, I see a lot of potential in the site. I was thinking the other day, I was like, man, I'm wondering why the HBCUs haven't invested in the app yet, because every college, not just an HBCU, but every college has like investments that they do, and they could easily invest and then be able to get money for scholarships and things like that, by investing in the app. But I was also thinking about just some of the potential of a lot of the users who are also invested in the app. I mean, it's really interesting how, Isaac put this together, because he's basically making it where it's pretty well known that Black people build these apps. And then once we build these apps, we end up getting kicked off the apps. We're watching that happen in real time. I know people who helped build up Facebook, and they've had their accounts deleted, or not Facebook, but Meta, TikTok. People are being kicked off these platforms left and right that they helped build. They brought users to the platform, they brought attention to it, they fed it content, because any platform will die if you don't feed it content. And it's crazy how fan base is kind of doing something that's pretty much going to be the wave of the future. People are going to be a lot more savvy about, even downloading these apps if they can't get some equity in these companies, because you have to be able to have a way to monetize long beyond just like being somebody that participates and puts content into these sites. So I mean, the potential is crazy. I think the problem is that a lot of people don't realize that you can really monetize on this site. There's various ways to do it. I was talking to one of the users the other day online. He's a guy that's selling, like, I think he sells barbershop equipment. And he's like, "Oh my God, you can get money just from commenting. Like, people send you hearts." And I was like, yeah. He was like, has it been like this from the beginning? I said, well, I've been on here for a bit. And yeah, I comment and people, send me money or participate in the audio groups and things. He didn't even know it was audio groups. I think he came over from TikTok. So he's just been moving his content over. So I think people are starting to understand and they're starting to catch on. I really think about, my mother. I think that if my mother were alive, I think she would have loved this app, because if you're an artist, this is the app that you really should be on, because you have the potential to be or this is even out there. Um, I mean, maybe Isaac should be doing some SEO targeting, like straight towards them, because if they realize that they could come on this app and make money, I don't know that they would even be on these other apps. Honestly, you can control your content, you can make money. It's two or three different ways to make money, and then you can buy equity in the company.
You kind of breaking up, Tiffany. I think you're
I
walking through
don't
the
see
house.
people. I mean,
Did you hear me? You kind of
oh,
breaking
can you
up a
hear
little
me
bit.
now?
Yeah.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. You were just breaking up a little bit as you were speaking. That's all.
Oh, okay. I apologize. This is probably where I'm sitting. I probably should go back upstairs, but I think that once artists realize that they can make money through like Flix, Fanbase Plus, the audio group, commenting, putting up, content, and then they can own equity too. I think that's going to kind of change the game for a lot of artists that really kind of feel put out by kind of the AI revolution. So I'm hoping that we'll start to see more artists kind of pour onto the app. I did notice there's two artists that I follow that are on this app, and they're literally teaching classes, like teaching people how to paint and stuff like that, teaching people how to airbrush and all that, and they're doing really well. I'm noticing they're getting like thousands of comments, but I hope that more people will pour onto the app, because I think that especially for people who are artists, I think that there's a real potential to really make some money and really be able to sustain a lot of what they're doing. Which I think is different from other sites. I think with other sites, it's like a threshold. I think the threshold here is like $5 or $10. With other sites, you have to have like 1,000 followers, or you have to have 500 followers, or you have to have like people have to look at your content for a certain amount of hours. You have to pay to be able to monetize. You have to buy
Ooh,
a store.
ooh, ooh.
You have to, it's a
And
lot
I want to
of
help you with that
stuff you
too.
have to
I want to help you with
do.
that too. Yeah.
Hmm.
On other apps, you only receive a percentage of the money that you make, a small percentage. Here, you only split it 50-50. And that's with everything that you
Hmm.
make here on this app. And it's paid out every
Right.
month, actually taking out your account on the first, or whatever card you decide to use, it goes to your card. So yeah,
Yep.
you spitting game now. Go ahead now. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh yeah, I mean because I'm just like I'm looking at people like, do y'all understand like what is going on? But I think a lot of the people who are just coming onto social media and just learning that they can monetize and leverage it. Like I think about the all those black women that lost their jobs. So now all of them have left TikTok and they're now on YouTube, right? So the majority of them, the ones that were on social media, they're starting to leverage their content and they're investing. So they're doing that. They don't even realize that it's like multiple apps out here where they could make money, and that fan base is actually a better option than YouTube because it takes longer to make money on YouTube. So,
So
go ahead.
so I this the thing I would, because I know fan base has been being promoted for a long time. You have people, some famous people at one point promoting fan base to their artists and everything. So I'm trying to I believe that a lot of artists do know about fan base. I think where the problem comes in is they not confident enough to, you know, step out, because and do it. Just like Levdo said, and we all know, you can make more money percentage wise when you monetize your content on Fanbase than any other platform. I just don't. I think that a lot of these people are comfortable where they are, and because with Fanbase, you actually have to like. I told somebody this. I said, if you got a strong following, as you say you have on TikTok, and your content and whatever you have is that great, they're going to follow you anywhere you go. And all you have to do is say, I'm over here. And they would do it. So I don't think people really want to just do that right now because they're comfortable. So I do believe it is people who don't know, but I think it's a lot more people that do know about fan base than than is being put out. I think it's just the comfort level of them doing it because it's something new. It's something brand new. It had to take something like they are totally banned from wherever platform they are, something like that, for the rug pull to be pulled for them to be like, okay, now let me go over to fan base. So I think somehow, some way, it needs to like they need to be convinced that when they do that, it's going to happen. I think it needs to be more convincing of that because I don't think they're 100% convinced. If that makes sense. Because it's because fan base has been advertised. Like you go on YouTube, if you go on YouTube, advertisement for fan base come up, and then you have to actually press skip to get to what your contact is, or you listen to the whole thing to your content. So you go on YouTube, fan base content comes up, and most people, like you said, the artists, they go onto YouTube for their stuff. When they log on YouTube and go on, they see the advertisement in the fan base. So I think it's there. They have to be convinced that, okay, you know what, and comfortable that I can go over here. I will go over here and do it. That's
I think you're right. It's them lacking the confidence because Isaac has brought Lizzo over here. He's had Jermaine Dupri on here. He's had Snoop Dogg, and actually we got to interact with these people too within the room. But A lot of people don't stick and stay. I've even had a onboarding room where I spoke to Lil Head Cortez from Wilding Out. And he said he was gonna bring people over, but he also said the same thing. That a lot of people know about fan base within and around him. It's just that it's not hot enough for them. And they don't see where the money can be coming in at right now. So when he said that, I was like, it's a possibility, not that he's possibly right. It's a possibility that he got a key factoring point. Because right now, because I know y'all old enough to remember if y'all over y'all 40s, as she was talking about Facebook earlier, I remember when Facebook first came out, MySpace was hot and Black Planet was hot. And guess what happened to MySpace and Black Planet? Meta bought them and then did what they wanted to do with them. They moved them away. But so far, all the things that they did. Am I lying? Or do we not see exactly what's happening?
Not
It's an
at all. But
evolution
you
going
got to
on.
think the best to me, I've been on these platforms for years. To me, the best platform was MySpace. It really was
I
because they was
agree.
teaching you how to program. You could really talk to people on there. It was like a little miniature creator community. And you could piece it, you could do your own website and everything. It was a better community, but they destroyed it, right? Because they wanted all those users from MySpace to go over to these larger platforms they were building. So now that these larger platforms are basically imploding because they basically getting rid of some of the best creators off of there. I don't see it continuing. I think was because Snapchat used to be more popular than what it is, you know? But I don't see it. I think that fan base is going to kind of be that next space because when black folks start to realize that they can make money, I think what it is people don't understand how to make money off a fan base. But once they realize how they can make money, they're coming. Because a lot of them are just learning how to make money off YouTube. And look how long YouTube is the largest social media network. It's been around forever. And people are just using it now. I've been on YouTube forever. I got all kinds of channels on YouTube. Had them for years. I just don't really use them like that. But people are just going on there now and discovering it. And they're thinking it's the only way they can make money. But once they realize they can make money, they're coming. I'm telling you, they're coming. I just think patience is required. We're gonna have to understand that some people just we have to stop thinking that people who have built up these large followings on these platforms and they sitting up with 100,000 followers that it took them 7 years to build are going to leave that space and just immediately come over someplace else. They're not going to do that. They're going to slowly migrate over so that, when they it'll be a situation where fan base will be able to pick them up because it's the most built up platform of all the black platforms that are out. Um, I'm not. I think it's another platform that's similar to I think Instagram that fan base is kind of competing against, but not even there. I don't even have an account on there. But I do know I'm on all the major black platforms from Spill to Blacklisted to fan base. I'm on all of them, so I can tell you straight up I can see people moving off those platforms and moving on to other platforms because of a lot of the politics that's happening as well. Now that it's the creator economy that they're calling the knowledge economy, now all these major corporations have taken over social media and they're changing the rules. You saw what happened with TikTok. You can't be a creator that talks about a certain area unless you have a degree in that area or they'll suspend your account. So right there, that's gonna a lot of the kids that didn't go to school that just wanted to be a creator, they're gonna end up migrating over to this app at some point. But also, they're gonna lose a lot of their audience because a lot of people are gonna be offended by that because they're gonna feel like, well, we built these, especially black folks, we built these platforms. How can you do this to us? But a lot of people don't understand when you're on a platform like the TikToks and You're not if you don't have content in other places like on Fanbase and Blue Sky and YouTube, you're working for that corporation. They own your content. You only stuck it there. So when they delete it, they're going to keep it. They already paid you for it. So your store is gone, your followers are gone, your account is gone, you know. But people will learn.
I appreciate that, Tiffany. And just, I want to welcome Enchanted at the bottom, Enchanted Nerd, and the music. And I'm not sure if Ed's a real profile. Um, just want to reiterate that it's important to put like a link in your bio or something so that we know that you are a real participant to the audio spaces. But Tiffany, you said so many dope things. I'm just trying to pinpoint which one of them I wanted to put a focal point. And I agree with you. Um, People haven't figured out how to use Fanbase in a way that it monetizes them, but they will. We hope that they're not, you know, just to me, it seems like we've been on the apps here for a minute. I've been on the app 3 years. Some people have been on longer, but people have come and gone. They come, they go, they come and go. They just wasn't seeing the value. I'm not going anywhere because I see the value. It's not always about monetization either. It's about the real connections and community that we have actually built on this platform. And like you said, suppression is a real thing. I'm not going to say too much, but I was on Meta. I'm one of the people that helped build it, not really physically, but, by having my content on there, that's the start. Way back in 2008. So it's all the ones that were on these apps for so long and they haven't made any money. They haven't monetized on them. But a platform from day one that you can monetize on, it's not rocket science, right? But welcome to the stage, Enchanted, and I'm on you.
Tiffany, can you reiterate a little bit about what you was just saying? Because I missed a little bit about how you said that they were only going to allow people with degrees to speak on, I guess, certain topics. Can you go into detail a little bit more about that on these different alternative sites? And I'm kind of still new to Fanbase. Does
Mhm.
anybody know if the live stream you can do it at like a 24-hour deal, or is it a time limit on the live stream as far as fan base?
I don't
And
know
one,
that. They will be able to answer.
oh, I was just gonna say real quick, the lives you can stay on as long as you want. There is no endpoint, but sometimes the connectivity does drop. So you'll be on there and you'll see that you lost connection. But just remembering that once you go live, once every 24 hours, trying to do it twice within that 24 hours, they're probably going to pick one of those lives, not, both of them. So last I heard, that's kind of where it is. The was live, they're streamlining lining it so you don't see many was lives in that live section, but that should be enhanced and they should be working on that soon.
So what I was
Hey,
gonna say
Enchanted.
was they are kind of changing TikTok. So they made an announcement because they're trying to regulate the creator economy. So China is trying to become kind of the large conglomerate that controls the kind of the social media. They kind of want to have a how can I put this? They want to have almost like a semi monopoly on having the best social media that people can monetize from. It's more well known. They'll be able to get more ad revenue. So, the way to do that is to cut off people who are producing what they consider to be garbage. So, if you're producing content in business, but you have absolutely no experience in business, no degree in business, they're going to cut you off and tell you to stop doing that because it also opens them up for liability because essentially you're working for them as an at will employee. That's why you're able to get that check. So the other thing is they've had a lot of conspiracy theorists that have kind of taken over happen. Uh, the people were using TikTok to really dismantle public health within the United States. So they made vaccines the boogeyman, put all of this stuff out. A lot of these folks didn't even have high school diplomas, but they put on a suit, pretended that they were degreed, got up in front of a camera, and people believed them. So it opened up TikTok for all this liability because a lot of people died from COVID. So it opened, the site up for legal action. And now that it's no longer a Chinese company and now it's owned by Oracle, things are definitely going to change.
I honestly expect them to, because for everything that had went on and everything that was going on, you're right about what you're saying. There were people that didn't have any kind of experience or any kind of education behind any of that stuff, and they were just telling people stuff, and people were dying behind it. But at the same time, in the same breath, if you're stupid enough to believe somebody online and not do research for yourself, I think you deserve to be in a pine box and be worm food, honestly. Because why would you do something that you have not found factual? You just listen to what somebody said because they were right about something maybe twice on Sunday, but you don't know for yourself. You should educate yourself better. But back to my onboarding room thing, I appreciate that. Um, but I would like to see you bringing people over. You're right about what you're saying about fan base being ahead of its time. Isaac has been preaching this for years. That's ahead of his time, and a lot of people really aren't believing it until they hear somebody say it. That's from the outside looking in, and you're coming over to show them that it can be. So, with everything that you're doing on your other platforms where you're doing it at, do you feel like you can bring some of your people or some of your followers over here and show them some stuff, or invite them to the onboarding room so we can show them some things that I'm gonna show you tonight?
Yeah, I definitely can. I can do a video. I have a pretty big following on Blue Sky. I can do a video where I can show people. I can basically tell people like, hey, if you want to get monetized, you definitely want to go to Fanbase. I just need to be educated a little bit more on some of the other ways to make money. So, like I said, I'm gonna kick back and listen. I'm gonna go get my pen, write some of this stuff down, and then I can put together a video to share it out because I share out videos every day to get about 10,000 views. So you'll be able to get some folks, and I can put it on Black Sky, which is basically the new Black.
So
You'll catch
with
a lot.
what somebody can do, this is one of the things that I did from an investor standpoint, and Joyce know, right? I said, what can I do to get people to invest? Do my part. So Joyce and I collaborated, and I created a video, a step-by-step tutorial to show people exactly how to invest, the step-by-step things that you need to look for when you do make a decision to invest to make people feel comfortable with their decision to invest in. So if someone knows how to actually, what Tiffany was saying, know how, they probably can do a video like that to show people step by step what you need to do, how you can do it to start getting your content and making money with your content. If anybody know anybody that actually does that on this app, I'm quite sure there's somebody that does it. So we just have to find out who is actually making money with their content on the app, and maybe they can collaborate like with Joyce or something, so they can go do a step by step tutorial with that.
Alrighty, so thank you for listening. I'm going to go ahead and close off this live, and we probably got an echo here. Hold on 1 minute. Let's see if I can get rid of this. Let me see. See if I can do. There we go. There we go. Gotcha. All right. So thanks for listening. That's all. Have a good rest of your day. Memoirs onboarding. Memoirs of a shy girl.
Welcome to Memoirs Podcast, where stories are told to create lasting memories in this digital space that we live in. It's time to be creative and explore the opportunities you have to enhance the quality of your storytelling and to give you time back to enjoy with family and friends.